MAZUMA TV back in the building with some more boxing talk. Sorry with my inconsistent ass, you know what I'm saying? I put out videos like once a year, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. I ain't really a YouTuber. I might do a little bit in the future. Might actually become a YouTuber, but as of right now, I'm gonna just give you my thoughts on this whole Errol Spence and Terence Crawford situation. Apparently, Terence Crawford signed a deal to fight David Avanesyan, I believe either on December 3rd or December 10th. And it's going to be on some platform I never really heard of. I don't know if it was like Black Prime or some shit like that. But nonetheless, fighting David Avanesyan. And the whole boxing world is shocked right now. Shocked with a little bit of disappointment. And that's exactly how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? We know that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have been in talks for a long time now. Ever since Errol Spence beat Ugas, he's been pursuing that fight. They both been making it clear that they both want this fight, and I believe him. In all honesty, I don't really feel like anybody's ducking anybody. I just think that it's a long process, especially when there's a lot of people who are working for the fighter, and there's a lot of money. There's a lot of hands in the pot. You know what I mean? Everybody want they cut. Everybody want to get paid, and you know what I mean? So when there's a lot of people who need to be paid from this event, you know what I mean? And understanding who the A side and the B side is, and what money is gonna be accessible here, and what's the split gonna be? What you know what I mean? Just who's gonna get a percentage of this and that. It's a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then when lawyers don't agree on how something's worded, it could take even longer to get a contract signed. So and me being in the sport, I haven't really faced that yet with any of my professional fighters, because we haven't really broke the world title scene yet. So I can't really speak on it too much, but I do understand that when there's a lot of hands in the fucking pot and a lot of motherfuckers trying to come up on a payday, shit gonna take a little while to iron out. You know what I mean? Should it have taken this long? Not necessarily, but you know, like I said, when there's a lot of people involved and ego is involved, shit can take a little while to be put together. But like I said, the whole world shocked with Terence Crawford fighting David Avanesyan and all that. You know what I mean? And it's sad, bro. It's sad, and this is the reason why a lot of people have turned their back on boxing and resorted to watching other sports that give you what you want, fights that you want, like UFC and other MMA type organizations. You know what I mean? I've seen people even watching bare knuckle and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they giving the fights that they want to see. You know what I mean? Or they watching shit like the NBA where the best have to face each other. There's no other option. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sad situation. You know what I mean? And this definitely is another black eye on the sport. And from what I've seen on the ESPN article that was written, Terence Crawford is making it seem like David Avanesyan is some type of tune-up. They said they're targeting February for the potential Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight, but he's gonna fight in December. So that would really mean that he's sure that it's kind of an underlying tone of underestimating your opponent, because you're assuming that you're not going to take any damage in this fight and that you're automatically going to jump into another camp. You're assuming that this is going to be a tune-up, but what if it's not a tune-up? That's my problem with it. What if it's not a tune-up? What if this guy actually gives you a good fight? What if this man actually gives you a cut? What if this man gives you something that potentially holds you back from that February date? Now you got to postpone it and make the fans wait even longer. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's not a smart move. You know what I mean? When you potentially have the biggest fight of your career in front of you, a legacy-defining fight that you have been lacking in. Your resume lacks legacy-defining fights. Your resume lacks that. You know what I mean? Jeff Horner is not a legacy-defining fight. Sean Porter is not a legacy-defining fight. Victor Postal is not a legacy-defining fight. This is shit that we know. But Errol Spence is a legacy-defining fight. And Errol has had several legacy-defining fights. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, it's a bad move. It's a bad move. And I don't understand exactly what's going on here. I do understand that Crawford has had a long layoff. He has not fought since Sean Porter. But, you know what I mean? When there's a mega fight that's right at your grasp, why take a chance and fight somebody who could potentially knock you off of that throne? What if Avanesyan beats Terence Crawford? Then what? The whole idea of it being a mega fight is gonna become tainted. A lot of fans not gonna want to see that fight anymore. A lot of fans gonna believe that Terence Crawford isn't at his peak anymore, so they're not gonna want to see Errol fight him. You know what I'm saying? And for what I understand, Errol isn't negotiating any other fight. This is a fight that he absolutely wants next. Terence Crawford says that Errol is ducking and hiding, and he's been trying to get the fight since June. But you're saying that, yet Errol Spence is not locked in for any other fight or is even negotiating to get another fight. You did that. While you were negotiating with Errol Spence, you were out here looking for another fight. So I do believe Errol Spence when he says you're stalling. You have to be stalling if you're taking another fight as a consideration. You're stalling. You know what I mean? Because if you weren't considering any other fight, there wouldn't be no reason to stall. It's just a sad situation, man. And I think the people that do the business for Terence Crawford, his managers, whoever it is, his advisors, whoever they are, his lawyers, whoever they are doing him a disservice right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying that he could possibly get 8 figures for the David Avanesyan fight. If you play your cards right, you could possibly make that and some change with Errol Spence. That's all I'm saying. The fans want to see it. You got the casual and the hardcore fans locked in on this fight. This is the biggest fight to be made in boxing right now. Biggest fight in boxing to make right now. That'll do great pay-per-view buys. People are going to want to throw parties around this fight. Facts. You see what I'm saying? It's sad, man. Like, it's just, I don't know how else to explain it. Terence Crawford, he's made a lot of mistakes in his career. He has made a lot of mistakes in his career. He's blatantly re-signed with a company who does not give a fuck about, that has not given a fuck about him. Bob Arum never gave a fuck about Terence Crawford. He publicly shitted on Terence Crawford while he was still signing him to the media, saying that he loses money every time Terence Crawford fights. That automatically lowers his power when he goes into negotiation tables. Because now all these people that's negotiating with Terence Crawford, they're going to have that in the back of their mind. Oh, Bob Arum said that he lost a lot of money with Terence Crawford, so I'm not going to offer him that much. You allowed that man that you re-signed with, when you should have got out of there as soon as your contract expired. You should have got out of there. And you probably could have made the Errol Spence fight happen even earlier if you would have left Top Rank right away, as soon as you had the ability to. You re-signed and you allowed that man to taint your legacy and stunt your potential growth as a superstar in boxing. You know what I mean? But it seems like his team and just the characteristics in himself have done himself a disservice, because Terence Crawford doesn't allow himself to be marketable. He doesn't like to do interviews. He doesn't really post regularly on social media. You know what I mean? He doesn't do what it takes to be a superstar in the sport. And I'm only bringing up Floyd because he was the greatest of our last era. He was the definition of a superstar. This man, Floyd, was on Dancing with the Stars. Did that benefit him in the boxing field? Did that make him a better boxer? No. But it contributed to his fan base. The man fought on WrestleMania against Big Show. Did that make him a better fighter? No. But it increased his fan base. He's tapping into all different type of fields to make his name a household name, in attempts to make himself a household name. And he did it. He did it. You see what I'm saying? Those are just the sacrifices you have to make. And that's just life in general. There's going to be a lot of shit that you don't want to do in life, but it'll benefit you in the long run. And he refuses to do that. He doesn't. His characteristics gives him a disservice. The businessmen around him have done Terence Crawford a disservice, and it's sad. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think Terence Crawford's going to end up being one of those fighters who was known as a good fighter, but could have done more. He left a lot of space open to grow. He did not maximize his potential as a fighter. That's how Terence Crawford is going to be remembered if he continues to go down this trail. He has a little bit of time left. Well, he's like 35. He has a little bit of time left to try to reverse that. But his window is closer to closing than being wide open. He does not have that much time. His time is very limited at this point. Father Time does not lose. You see what I'm saying? So it's just sad on Terence Crawford's part. And if Errol Spence moves up, I can't be mad at it. I cannot be mad if he moves up to 154 and tries to look for the bigger fights up there, because that move was totally unnecessary. It was unwarranted. It's not needed. A fight with David Avanesyan is not needed. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on this situation, man. I think Terence Crawford, I'm not even going to say he's ducking. He's just making a stupid move. It's a stupid move. Because there's no guarantee that you're going to beat this man. You don't underestimate anybody. You're clearly underestimating David Avanesyan. You think this is going to be an easy payday. Can it be? Possibly. Possibly. But is it worth taking that risk when the biggest fight is in front of you? I'll leave that up for interpretation, and time will tell. But that's just my thoughts on the situation, man. This is MAZUMA TV. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, whether y'all agree, whether y'all disagree, regardless of what it is. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to MAZUMA TV, and I'm out.